Hi guys, welcome to Logged In with Teacher Dorita. I am going to show you now how to do the bank reconciliation. I know from the textbooks, some of them, it can seem very overwhelming, but this is actually a really nice exercise to do. It's not difficult at all. When you know what to do, you will see that it's actually quite easy and completely doable. So don't stress about it. All right, so the purpose of drawing up a monthly bank recon is to reconcile any differences between the cash receipt journal and the cash payment journal with the bank statement. So remember, in your company, you've done your CRJ and your CPJ, but you receive the bank statement from the bank. So they also do their books. And now you have to check that everything from your CRJ and your CPJ matches with what is on your bank statement. Okay. Sometimes transactions will appear on the bank statement, but not on the journal. So this could be things like bank charges, interest maybe that you've received or that you've had to pay, debit orders, things like that. And then sometimes transactions will appear on the journals, but not on the bank statement. This could be maybe because of corrections of errors. It could be a cancelled check, that check that says RD, or maybe post-dated checks. There's different reasons why the amounts will be different on the different platforms. Okay, so there's a simple rule to follow when you check, because you're going to check everything and see if all of the amounts match up. So the rule is that if the transaction is on the journal, but not on the bank statement, it needs to go to the bank reconciliation statement. If the transaction is on the bank statement, but not on the journal, it needs to go to the journal. That's your rule, okay? So they don't expect you to do a full cash receipt journal and a full cash payment journal. It's just a little sheet. It looks like this: cash receipt journal, cash payment journal. So it's very short. It's just for you to reconcile. Okay, how does this work? So what you see on the screen is the instructions. We're going to go through it now. Then you'll see a cash receipt journal, just a small short cash receipt journal. You will see a cash payment journal, and you will see a full bank statement. There we go. You're going to compare these three documents with each other. Okay. All of this information will be given to you in the question, so you don't have to stress about that. They give you the two journals and the bank statement for you to do the comparison. Right, so let's read the instructions. From the following information for ABC Travel, you are required to compare the bank statement with the journals and complete the supplementary entries in both. Close the journals and post to the bank account in the general ledger and balance the account. Draft a bank reconciliation statement on 30 June to reconcile the bank account with the bank statement. Okay, so I've said to my students before, if you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you guys had a big fight, you have to put your differences aside. You have to reconcile. You have to come back together, right? So this is what we are doing. We're putting the differences aside and we're reconciling, bringing everything nicely together. Okay, so literally what you will do is you will check each amount individually if you see it on the bank statement. So you can start with your cash receipt journal. Now remember, this is money that we've received, and that is why when you look for it on the bank statement, you're going to look for it on the plus side of the bank, which is the credit side. Okay? When you look for the cash payment amounts, it is money that was paid. So at the bank, you will look for it on the debit side because it's the money paid side. Good. Let's start with our cash receipt journal. I'm going to use color because I'm working on Excel, but when you do this in the exam, you're going to literally just take your pencil and you're going to tick off the amounts that you see. Do you see 200,000 Rand on your bank statement on the plus side? Yes, you do. It is there, so you can tick it off. Remember to tick it off on your journal and on your statement. Next one, do you see 15,200 Rand on your statement? Yes, you do. There it is. It's also on the 4th of the month. Then on the 10th, we've got this amount of 914 Rand. The amounts won't necessarily be in the same order, so you check all the way to the bottom. And actually, I do not see it at all. It is not there. This means that the 914 Rand, you need to circle it with your pencil or point it out to yourself, because later you're going to have to put that amount somewhere. Okay, I'm going to make it red so it stands out nicely. Do you see 14,900 Rand on your statement? Yes, you do. And you tick it off on both sides. Do you see 629 Rand? Yes. So don't worry, we've skipped the 29 Rand. So this is probably because it's going to be an amount that's on your statement, but not on your journals. So we will sort that one out when we get to it. Okay, then we've got 2 times 700 Rand. The one is for Mr. Palmer and the other one is for Mrs. Palmer, but our dates are different. So if we look at our bank statement, we see a 700 Rand here on the 23rd, meaning that we can tick it off because we also have it on the 23rd. But this 700 Rand is not on your bank statement. Do you see? So we have to circle this amount, and we have to remember that later we're going to have to put it in the right place. Do you see 4,400 Rand? Yes, you do. Okay, you can tick it off on both sides, on your statement and on your cash receipt journal. Great stuff. You've checked your entire cash receipt journal. Now we can check our cash payment journal. And for these amounts, we'll be looking for them on the debit side because it's money that we've paid. So already we can see the 80,000 and the 12,400. You tick them off on both sides. Do you see 1,400? Yes. We also see the 1,700. And we also see the 3,300. You tick them off on both sides. They are done. We're not going to do anything with these amounts. Do you see 249 Rand? Yes, we do. You tick them off on both sides. Do you see 8,000 Rand? Yes, we can tick it off. 1,250 Rand. 1,250, yes. So you notice that we're skipping some values, right? Those ones, we're going to sort them out. The last one, 7,200 Rand, I also don't see it. So this one, we're making it bold. And I'm going to make mine red so that it stands out nicely. Okay. So the 7,200 was the only amount left out on your cash payment journal. You've now checked your whole cash payment journal and you've checked your cash receipt journal. The only thing now left to do before you can carry on is you check now on your bank statement, which amounts did you not tick? So here we left out and we didn't tick the 29 Rand 50, the 52 Rand, the 54 Rand, the 2,057 Rand, and the last, there's quite a few, 629 Rand, as well as the 19 Rand, and 1,310 Rand. So remember the rule. If it is on the journal, but not on the bank statement, it has to go to the bank reconciliation statement. If it is on the bank statement, but not on the journal, it needs to go to the journal. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that. The first one that we'll do will be the cash receipt journal. Okay, so remember, you had a total, right? But there's amounts that is on this cash receipt journal that is not on the bank statement. Okay, let me show you and then you will see. For your cash receipt journal, you have inserted your total. You will see, guys, we only use these two columns. It's just almost as if it's a little calculation workout. It's not a full cash receipt journal. So you'll show cash receipt journal and amount. The first thing that we write down is our total. The total is 237,443. We got this total from our cash receipt journal. There it is. Okay. So we now need to look at our bank statement to see whatever appears on here that is not on the journal needs to go to the journal. So the first thing we see is a 29 Rand 50, which is interest on a credit balance. You literally add it exactly as what it says. Interest on credit balance, 29 Rand 50. You've simply added it to the cash receipt journal. Okay. The next one we see on our bank statement is 1,310 Rand. It's a credit for J. Jonas. It was for car rental. You add it to your cash receipt journal, J. Jonas car rental, 1,310 Rand. You then add everything together again, and you now have a new total. So maybe some of you will already know now that this new total is the one that we will have to take to the general ledger. Yes. Okay, let's do our cash payment journal. The first thing that we're going to insert is our total. It was 115,499. So you will see I've put it in here already, the total for the cash payment journal. And now we've got to look at our bank statement and we have to add all of the things that was not on our journal. We are checking the debit side because this is where the payments show. And the first amount that we see is 52 Rand for a service fee. Then we see a credit card levy, an outsurance amount, an unpaid check, and a tax levy. So guys, what's important, something to look out for when you update your cash payment journal, is that you can add all of the things that fall under bank costs, you add them together. So it will be a service fee, a credit card levy, and a tax levy. 52 plus 54 plus 19. You don't want to do those individually because it comes down to the same cost. It's bank charges. So it looks like this, bank charges, and there you go, 52 plus 54 plus 19 gives you 125 Rand. Okay. The amounts that now we still have to do is the 2,057 Rand. This was an outsurance debit order. You simply fill it in under your cash payment journal. Outsurance, 2,057 Rand. And the last thing on here was the unpaid check for 629 Rand. You fill it in on your cash payment journal. And you can just call it the name of the person, P Powers, and we call it RD. It's for a cancelled check. And you put in your value, 629 Rand, and your new total after you add all of those values together is 118,310 Rand. Okay, so what have we done now? We've checked our cash receipt journal to see if all the amounts appear on the bank statement. All the ones that appear, you tick them off on both sides. Same with the cash payment journal. The ones that do not appear on the bank statement, you circle them because we still have to do something with them. Remember, now these ones probably have to go to the reconciliation. You also then check on your bank statement the ones that was not ticked, right? So it means it's on the bank statement, but not on the journal. You have to then put it on the journal, and you have now already done that. You have added everything you need to add to your cash receipt journal, and you've added everything you need to add to your cash payment journal. Great stuff. What do we do next? What did the instructions say? So we've done this point. We've compared, right? Compare the bank statement with the CRJ and CPJ and complete the supplementary entries on both. Then we have to close off the journal on the bank account of the general ledger and balance the account. So let's do the general ledger. Okay, here we go. So guys, I did a full video on general ledger, so I'm not going to explain this now in detail. If you don't know how to do the general ledger, please go and check out that video. It's not that long and it's really, really useful. So if you need help with that, you go and check it out there, please. So for the general ledger, you're following the same procedure as you would normally do. On the last day of the month, your total receipts, where did you get it? From your cash receipt journal was 238,782.50. Let's check. 238,782.50. And your total payments 118,310. Total payments 118,310. You've just inserted it onto the general ledger. You ask yourself then which side is bigger between the two. I've now done this ahead of time, guys, just to save a bit of time so that the video isn't too long for you. This side is obviously bigger, and that's why you copy the total down on both sides, giving it a thick line at the top and the bottom. You have to make this true, so you fill in that amount that is the missing amount. It's basically 238,782.50 minus 118,310. It gives you this missing amount. And that is your balance that you're going to carry over. You carry it over all the way to your debit side. And it's the balance now, the beginning of the new month, the balance that you have brought down. Okay, so now you've also done your general ledger. The last thing you have to do is it says to you, draft a bank reconciliation statement on 30 June to reconcile the bank account with the bank statement. So now we are looking at these amounts that was in our journals, but it was not on the bank statement. There's only 3 values. So let's see what does that look like. So this is what the bank reconciliation statement that you need to do. This is what it looks like. It's in all of your textbooks. It's literally just a description, a debit side, and a credit side. Okay, now where does this information come from? Remember, we are getting it now from our journals. If it's on the journal, but it's not on the bank statement, it needs to go to the bank reconciliation. That's what we're doing now. The first and most important thing is that you will always start your bank reconciliation with the balance of the bank statement. So I'm going to make it a bright pink. This is your first entry on your bank reconciliation statement. Let me show you. So I'm just copying it next to it so you can see that that's the one I used. 126,058.50. Okay, there it is. You always start your bank reconciliation with that closing balance of your bank statement. Okay. You can see that it was a credit balance according to the statement because it is in a positive. Then we have to insert the information from our cash receipt journal. It will go on the credit side because that's where the money becomes more. So you'll already see I've put here 914 Rand and 700 Rand. Let's check if those were the only 2 missing ones on our CRJ. Yes, 914 Rand. This was for G. Carolus for British Airways, and 700 Rand for Mrs. Palmer, a Visa transaction. And this is what it looks like on your bank reconciliation statement. You call it credit outstanding deposit with the date. Credit outstanding deposit with the date. You won't be writing a person's name in here or British Airways or Qantas or anything like that. Okay, there's your 2 amounts from your CRJ. Now let's go and check. You'll also remember, there was just 1 amount missing from our cash payment journal. Let's double check. Yes, it was only the 7,200 Rand. It gives it a name security on the 30th of the month. The name doesn't matter, guys. you're going to call it debit outstanding 7,200 Rand. That's the only transaction that was missing from the CPJ. You put it on the debit side because at the bank, that's your minus side. Okay. Then, what's this? Where did this come from? Okay, remember, we've just done the general ledger. We've now got a new balance that we brought down. Do you see? We've got a debit balance of 120,472.50. And this is the amount that we're inserting on our bank reconciliation statement. Debit balance according to the bank account, 120,472 Rand and 50 cents. Okay, remember the bank is the other way around. It becomes more on the debit side and less on the credit side, like I explained to you on your trial balance. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, it makes me feel stressed, but please go and watch the video on the trial balance. Okay, you are then going to add up both sides, everything under your credit column added together, and everything under your debit column added together. And the magic that needs to happen is that you need to balance. The amount needs to be the same, 127,627.50. That is it, guys. It's not difficult at all. All you have to do is just do one line at a time and follow the steps. Okay. I'm not going to do a recap because then this video becomes very long. But if you're not sure, just rewind it or watch it again and maybe make some notes. Just follow the instructions step by step, and I'm sure that you will be fine with the bank reconciliation. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Please, will you go and just hit that subscribe button? It would really, really mean a lot to me. And thank you so much for everybody who has already subscribed, guys. It's great. It makes me so super, super excited. Thank you. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.